Hi, I'm Daphne Richards, and this is Augie. Our question this week is about using weeds in the compost pile. Is it okay? Well, that depends. If you're working with a hot compost pile, it's fine to put weeds in it. But if you're using a cold composting method, it would be best not to. So what's the difference between hot and cold composting? Hot compost piles are active and cold compost piles don't decompose all that quickly. The best way to compost is the hot method, but many people don't have the time, so they just pile up their yard waste in a corner and let it be. Organic matter left this way will decompose eventually, but it'll take a while. And since the pile doesn't ever get hot, most weed seeds can just sit there and wait until you use that organic matter in your garden, where they'll be happy to sprout and take up valuable garden space. And you'll have a great opportunity to exercise your biceps hoeing them out. So if you're cold composting, toss the weeds into paper yard waste bags, leave them by the curb, and let the city compost them. But if you have the time to build a hot compost pile, you can compost your weeds, seeds and all. Active compost piles heat up to about 150 degrees, which is hot enough to cook most seeds. In order to build up this heat, your pile needs to be at least 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide. There are lots of ways to contain a compost pile, including prefab and home-built bins. The ratio of brown materials to green materials is also important, 2/3 brown to 1/3 green. Examples of brown materials are leaves and old mulch, while grass clippings and kitchen waste are green. I highly recommend investing in a compost thermometer so you can watch the temperature of the pile. If the pile is decaying properly, the temperature will rise very quickly and then fall slowly back below 100. That means it's time to turn the pile. If you'd like to learn more about composting, you're in luck. Extension's hosting a workshop on Saturday, June 15th. Check out my blog, centraltexashorticulture.blogspot.com, for the details. Our plant this week is Tacoma X Orange Jubilee. Many people call this plant Esperanza, but others use the common name yellow bells, since the flowers are long, tubular, and bell-shaped. The common species has large yellow flowers, but this cultivar, as its name implies, has orange flowers. The leaves of Orange Jubilee are a deep, glossy green with a glossy brightness to them. You may see this plant listed as a semi-evergreen, but it will usually be deciduous here in Central Texas. In cold winters, Orange Jubilee will freeze to the ground, but unless it's unusually cold, this root-hardy shrub will come back when spring temperatures warm up sufficiently. So you'll need to prune out all of the dead stems. Even if Orange Jubilee doesn't freeze to the ground, you might consider pruning it to about 3 inches from the ground anyway, since that will make the plant fuller and bushier. This fast-growing shrub loves the full hot sun, so it'd do very well in a southern exposure, where you might have too much reflected heat for anything else to survive. Orange Jubilee can tolerate virtually any soil type and will grow very quickly to cover over 10 feet tall and 6 feet wide. This gorgeous shrub thrives on very low water, so if you're looking for a virtually carefree plant, Orange Jubilee would be a great choice. To do in your garden this week, plant a few last-minute vegetables. Malabar spinach, okra, and southern peas love the heat, so get those transplants out now. It's also time to plant sweet potato slips. And if you're feeling adventurous or perhaps looking for your next gardening challenge to experiment with, it's time to plant peanuts. We'd love to hear from you, so please visit klru.org with your questions and plants of the week from your garden.